Hello, sexies. My name is Jessica Wetstein, and we're going to get into some juicy sexism. I saw this video on TikTok. I was reading the comment section, and I'm like, holy shit, I have to talk about this because TikTok is bringing on another wave of feminism. When we're able to hear the experiences of 70-year-old women, people who have been there, done that, been divorced, when people are learning the language we didn't know before, weaponized incompetence, invisible labor, all of these things, we're not tolerating it anymore. And this video is so powerful. I thought that this was a unique experience. It's not. I love this creator as well, and also this woman she's stitching.
Buy your mother her Mother's Day gift. Like, all that shit, right?
It was TikTok that drew my attention to
how beautiful is that?
Bizarre it is that I used to facilitate the relationship between my ex-husband and his family.
And I never even thought about this. When I'm dating a guy, I go into my notes. I write down, if he tells me his sister's name, I write it down. Who's his sister's husband? I write it down. Like I want to remember these things because that's thoughtful. If I remember your fucking uncle's name, like that's thoughtful. Do these men ever know that? When they do the interviews on the street of like, what's your wife's birthday? Is she allergic to anything? And he knows nothing about his spouse. How long have you been married? 40 years? I'm sorry, what? And then we laugh and we go, oh, that's just men for you. They don't give a fuck about women, you mean? That's not cute anymore.
Reminded him of his parents' birthdays. I bought Christmas gifts. I reminded him about Mother's Day. I took all the photos of our kids, got them developed, sent them out to his family.
And they don't notice this responsibility.
And marriage and relationship expert John Gottman talks about how we develop these mind maps for the people that we love, of, you know, the things that are their favorite things to eat, favorite places to go, stuff about their, you know, childhood.
I also want to apologize. I think there's a lag between the audio of this video and the audio that you hear of this video. I can't figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm a rookie.
And whatnot. I developed a mind map for my ex-husband's family. Like, I still know that his father's birthday, I think, is September 18th, and his mother's birthday was like December 10th or December 11th. And
I still have a list in my phone of my ex's siblings' birthdays and their parents and all of these things. I remember when I dated this one guy, like, I was plotting in advance what he was going to get his mom. I'm like, what are her interests? He didn't know. And I think back now and I'm like, why was I doing that?
Nephew's birthday was like the very next day. I know that he called his grandparents Nana and Papa. What did I call my grandparents? Do you think he knows the answer to that? I know what his grandfather died of. I remember his first girlfriend's name. I remember she was Baptist. I remember hundreds of details, probably, about his childhood, about his life. And I don't think he remembers the same thing about mine. I bet you he doesn't even remember what my mother's name is. Towards the end of our marriage, I noticed, without TikTok's help, actually, that he didn't seem interested in my life. He didn't ever want to read my writing. He didn't seem to care what my, dreams were, what my favorite songs were, that sort of thing. He didn't know these things about me. And when he was worried that I would leave, he snapped to life, to attention.
To reality.
And wrote me this letter saying how he had been asleep and he had neglected me all this time and he was so sorry and that, I deserved so much. It was a great letter. And then
I've had that too, where they validate it all. They validate all the bullshit they put you through. But the reality is, even in those moments where they can get their guard down and realize it, they don't have the skill set to maintain it. So it really doesn't mean anything.
Maybe a month.
But then you're like, well, he's capable. He has potential.
Maybe a little longer. Maybe 6 weeks, 2 months at the very most. Things were exactly how I had been wanting them. He took an interest in Twitter because I had been on Twitter in the early days. He asked to read my writing and he would read it regularly. He got into Vampire Weekend.
That's so crazy. Like, this woman's a writer and your spouse doesn't read your fucking writing?
And then that became like some favorite music of his. And I said that I was afraid that it would stop, that he wouldn't be able to keep it up. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Never went back to that again. And then I was out. And so then when my next relationship came along, because that person took more of an interest in me, I accepted this like low standard.
Isn't that a common experience too? Like you get if you're physically abused, you date a guy and he's emotionally abusive, but he's like, well, at least I don't hit you. And you're like, oh, it's way better. This is way, oh my God, he treats me so good. He just verbally abuses me.
Now I have a partner who's interested in me and puts away my laundry where it belongs and cooks. And I deserve her.
Oh, I love that. And I deserve her. Okay, let's go through these freaking comments. They're so good. And this is powerful too. He proved he was capable the whole time, but he just did not fucking give a shit. This is beautiful, that last comment. I deserve her. I think this is the comment that I always found it sad. Here, I'll scroll down. I always found it sad when my ex-mother-in-law commented she only got nice and thoughtful gifts when her boys had girlfriends. She knew it was us that put the thought in. It wasn't her fucking son. Like, it's the girlfriend. I stopped signing my brother's name on Mother's Day. I realized he's 24 and I've been handling gifts since I was 15. I stopped buying gifts for my husband's family. They all get nothing now. I think all of us sharing and hearing our experiences are changing a generation of women. I completely agree. It's been really revolutionary, frankly. Where was another one that I saw that was really good? My mother-in-law would have totally blamed me if I got her son nothing for his birthday. My husband says that TikTok is a thing that makes us argue, but TikTok is making me realize things that I never did before. Holy fucking shit. My husband's family is so irritated that I refuse to take on the role for my husband, but his fam is his responsibility. What? What the fuck? Even like when these guys get their kids gifts, like they're not the ones putting the thought into it. When I matched my ex's energy, we divorced. Wow. My parents got divorced when I was 4, but to this day, my mom is the one that takes and gives pictures to my paternal grandparents. I think unfortunately many women keep their husbands connected with his family, yet the wife is often blamed by her in-laws for taking him away. And my mother-in-law had the nerve to say I hate her when I was always the one making sure he at least said happy birthday. Fuck. I don't facilitate my spouse's relationship with their family and now they have no relationship. Then why the fuck are they still your spouse? Like, ew. No. Oh my God. And then you married him. Wow, I'm doing this. He forgot his mom's BD and I saved it by reminding him. But now, no. I'll get her a gift from me only, and he can show up empty. This is why being with a man is like a job. Like, you don't just have to take care of yourself, and you have to take care of them too. I saw this video on my For You page this morning, actually, where this girl talked about why there's a discrepancy between our generation and our parents' generation, because our parents' generations were kind of the first ones who were like having careers and taking care of the house at the same time, and they had to do it to prove that they were capable. So you had my generation, which is they grew up watching their dads working, coming home, cracking a beer, sitting on the couch, watching sports, chilling. Whereas they watch their mom come home from the same 8-hour day of work and immediately go into mom mode. Take care of the kids, take them to their activities, do the laundry, cook dinner, clean the house, get the lunches ready, make their fucking husband's lunch. So she has 2 jobs and he has 1. And he has the audacity to act like his money should be enough? Like, what are you talking about? When I worked in family law, most men we dealt with admitted to only tolerating their wife because of how comfortable she makes his life. I did the same thing for my ex, and he still expects me to do all that labor with our daughters. I'm gonna cry. I'm just scared that I'll never find anyone, but I'm better alone. But it's just so normal that we don't like. But this is when we're all realizing, like, wait, we're all doing this? We didn't even think anything of it? Ooh, I like this. I love this. I'm online dating right now, and this is exactly the reason I have a rule where they have 3 turns in the conversation. If they haven't asked about me or my life in any way, I stop talking to them. I won't waste time. So I have this problem all the time, and I'll tell guys, you don't have conversation skills. I'll ask them a question. Like, imagine I say this. Oh, like, whatever. Did you grow up religious? And they're like, oh, yeah, I grew up Catholic. Are you going to reciprocate that question? Would you like me to ask another one? Guys will say to me, it feels like you're interrogating me. I'm like, is this an interrogation or a one-sided conversation? My ex took over a year to learn when my birthday is. Dude, I have ADHD, can't remember shit. But still, I'm not that bad. Put it in your phone. My current mother-in-law is expecting me to communicate with his grandmother, and I'm like, I don't even know her. Yeah, I saw this. I see them all the time. They only treat you well when there's a chance they won't stay. My parents are divorced and my mother still buys all their birthday and Mother's Day gifts for my dad's mother and his family. What the fuck? That is fucked. Anytime I see a girl who's like, I know so many women like this, who are dropping hint after hint after hint that they want to get engaged. And I'm like, why would you want to marry him if he doesn't feel the exact same way? I know a girl who's dating right now, and she's telling me about this guy, and she's like, well, like, I don't know how he feels. I think he likes me because he said this and this and this and this. And I'm like, does he know you like him? She's like, yeah, well, I told him. I'm like, flat out, right? I remember reading the Kama Sutra, and it says that a relationship, you should not be falling in love. There shouldn't be any what ifs. Like, they should be like, the dating is often like, who cares less? Who takes longer to text back is like the more secure one in the relationship. You don't want to seem desperate. Oh, I'm having period cramps. But there's no guessing. If you want to date me, if you think I'm special, you're going to tell me that. I'm not guessing. Another thing I was thinking about is, like, just from hearing her talk about it, is how you feel about him isn't necessarily the way he makes you feel. Oh my God, like, I'm so into it. I feel amazing, right? You're high on that rush of love for those feelings you have for him. But how does he make you feel? Because a lot of things are indicating that he makes you feel insecure as fuck. And you're constantly having to be like, oh my God, like, I don't know what's going to happen. Is he going to ask me? Is he going to do this? You should already know. If you're dating people, like, that's how you date. When I date a guy, I go out of my way to make sure that he knows that I'm interested, and that, like, I don't want anyone to be insecure and not know how I feel. Wow. These comment sections always blow my mind. Oh, there's this other good video that I watched today. Oh, fuck, I want to find it. Here, let's watch this other one. Which one is it? Is it this one? Yes, this one. I love this creator so much.
You're right now witnessing in the last couple of years, I am coming to the realization.
Yes, because of TikTok. Social media for so long was like just people I went to high school with, just people people the same age, people with the same interests. And now we're seeing like this huge, like, when the fuck was I hanging out with married ladies and hearing about their experiences? Sure, as a kid when you're sitting around the table, but you don't really understand.
My entire life, the way that I have seen men has been that I've been responsible for them. And
I genuinely thought this was a unique experience. I have always been into emotional intelligence, and like, I'm a therapist, all these guys I date, and I help them with everything. And I thought that was unique. How fucking
seems really silly because, like, I've been taught to watch my own back, to not wear anything revealing, that my body is responsible for how men can control themselves. But I am just now realizing all of it is clicking into place for me, like, in real time.
And I feel the same way. Like, I'm looking into the future and what I want. And I think it's like clear. I just love myself. I love spending time with myself. I always have guys saying to me, like, you're going to end up alone. And I'm like, that sounds really nice. Men are always desperate. Like, I'm going to have no problem finding a dude if I want one. The issue is finding one that deserves me.
This has affected me. Every single relationship that I have had with a man has been framed in the idea that I am responsible for their comfort, and their needs matter more. And if I protect them, I will be safer. It is my responsibility. It is a part of my needs, my basic needs as a woman, to protect the feelings of men. Like, that's a safety need built in. The fucking hierarchy of needs. Part of my safety plan is to protect the feelings of men. And that's not wrong. I am put in physical danger if I push back against men. Even when they are actively hurting me. If they do something that knowingly harms me, I get my ass.
This is like when I was in Vegas. Some guy was fucking catcalling me, and he was like, ooh, you look damn good, but you'd look better if you wore heels. And I was like, shut the fuck up, as I walked by. And his friend was sitting on the railing or whatever, jumps off and was like, what the fuck did you just say? And these 3 men were like kind of coming after me. And I was like, oh my God. It was terrifying. And so often I'm aggressive with men. Like, if you hit on me, I'll shame you. I'll embarrass you in public. I shouldn't say hit on me. I mean, like, harass me. And more often than not, these men will cower. But when they do, they say, you better watch yourself, because one of these times that's going to make you get your ass beat. Like, me saying your behavior is unacceptable is going to make your behavior even more unacceptable. Whoa.
Grabbed. If I say anything, I could get the shit beat out of me. If I say anything to piss a man off, I could get fucking raped, picked up, murdered. I am put in physical danger by making a man feel embarrassed. And then when it's somebody in close proximity to me at work or a relationship I'm in or a friend, if I embarrass them, if I call them out for doing something wrong, that reflects poorly on me. And then among men are scared of other men. Men are scared to call other men out or challenge other men because...
Yes, because then everyone around's going to be like, you're a fucking simp, you pussy. Oh, you're so desperate for women, you want to be a pick-me. Because they expect you to respect them. Like, I have so much admiration for men who call out other men, because it's not easy.
All relationships are framed in win or lose. And so if you come to a man and you say, hey, I didn't like what you did, he doesn't want to fucking lose.
That competition. I hear people talk about patriarchal versus matriarchal societies. And when you talk about, what's it called when... misogyny versus, what's it called when you think that women are superior than men? What's that word? Look, me trying to figure out the audio problem. What's the word for that? No, there's a word. You fuckers, what is it? I can't remember it. Whatever, you know what I mean? But guys will throw that around. And I find it so funny because in a patriarchal society, the reason you have oppression and you have these issues is because men have, like she said, this one-upping behavior. And everything... Where the hell did the video go? What the fuck? They have this one-upping behavior. And they say that, like, a matriarchal society would be just as bad. Absolutely not. Women, their goal is to be in harmony. Their goal is to make sure everyone is okay, not just themselves. So this idea that if women were in the position that men are right now, that we would be acting the same way they would, is crazy. No, it would be a harmonious environment if we had ultimate control. We would make sure that their needs were met. Not the other way around. But they assume, like, it's the same way when white people get scared that what if people of color get rights and then they end up the minority and then they're going to be treated the way they treat other people. You're assuming that those people would behave like that. People who've experienced oppression don't want to treat other people like shit. Am I laggy? I gotta figure out this fucking OBS shit.
So he's gonna win and you're gonna lose. Every conflict is a challenge.
When you talk about men being, oh, my cleavage is this G, emasculated. I saw someone say, how often do we talk about women being, what's the opposite of emasculated? To defeminize. When the fuck do you feel de-feminized? You want me to change my own oil? You want me to... Like, if you make me feel like doing man shit, that doesn't make me insecure in any way. You make me open my own door? I don't give a fuck. Like, we constantly have to be so sensitive of men's masculinity.
And the worst thing that a man can be in this world is weak, and so he's not going to fuck.
I saw this sexist lady saying that the word toxic masculinity is so fucked. Like, thinking that masculinity is toxic is so wrong because the characteristics of masculinity are like strength and protection. Like, thinking protection and strength is toxic, that's so horrible. What a horrible word. That's not what toxic masculinity means at all. It's talking about the consequences of men are supposed to be strong and protectors, which also means what? That they can't be emotional. That's what's toxic. Like, not all the good things.
Lose. And so my entire life I've been taught all of these ways that I can be accommodating and kind and be a good woman. And if I am a good woman, I'll earn a good man. And then I have to keep that man good by protecting him from shame. My entire life I've told myself, or I've heard, just let it go. It's not worth it.
Is this the hill you want to die on?
Happened to him if you said something. When men cause harm, they also create a risk. I can absorb it. I can figure out a way to adjust and adapt to that harm. Or I can confront and challenge it. But so many men feel shame when they make mistakes. And so to confront an issue is to risk them deflecting and that energy negatively coming right back at you. Double fucking whammy. I am so fucking tired.
I feel you, girl. Yes, absolutely. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Fuck. Yep. You've articulated so many things I felt but not had words for. My grandmother used to tell me to never marry unless I have to. I have so many people in my comment section saying, I'm married, don't do it. If I could go back in time, I wouldn't either. I love my husband, but fuck that. Saw a video of this woman talking about her deal breakers and behavior she won't accept. And it was all like horrific behavior of men. And this guy comments and goes, I get the point, but you don't need to be so aggressive about it. The behavior that she's saying she doesn't tolerate is aggressively harmful. And you want, when she talks about it, for her to be passive? Bro, that's sexist in and of itself. I stopped protecting my spouse's feelings. He got angry and distant. My ex told me constantly how his bad behavior is my fault. My dad used to always say to me, you push my buttons. I wouldn't get so angry and lash out if you didn't push my buttons. Bro, push your buttons. What you're saying is that you have no emotional control and I'm supposed to coddle you and take care of your feelings. Push my fucking buttons. Get out of here. Oh, look at this. I've reached the tipping point. We need to make this viral. That's so beautiful. And you know how it's so hard to make friends with women? It's so intimidating. People will say, oh, girls are so judgy. I don't think that's true at all. I think it's intimidating creating relationships with women because we have depth. We respect each other. We're complex individuals that to form a bond, you have to have like a deep connection, and that takes work to build. To date a guy, that's not intimidating. You already know what you have to do to satisfy him. It's fucking easy. He's shallow. Real men call each other out. I hate this. This is the no true Scotsman fallacy. No true Scotsman appeal to purity, an informal fallacy which one attempts to protect their generalized statement from falsifying counterexample by excluding the counterexample improperly. So this is like saying real men don't do this. No, statistically, real men, this is exactly what they do. This is exactly what they do. When they say real Christians aren't homophobic. Yes, they are. You're trying to deflect the fact that that is the reality of what the majority of the identity you relate to is. You can't act like it's not. You can't say, oh, they're not real. The people who do these bad things, they're not the real version of this identity that I also identify with. Fuck yeah, they are. I see guys say, that's not a man, that's a boy. That's not a man, that's a child. A real man wouldn't hit his wife. That's like boy behavior. No, it's not. Absolutely not. Children, boys, they don't behave like that. Men teach them to. What are you talking about? I can absorb it. That's why I'm exhausted. I also have a feeling that if a man and a woman both work full time and the house is a mess, it reflects poorly on the woman, not the man. Oh. I'm tired too. My period's knocking me out. Oh, wow. But I'm excited because my goal is to start dating women. My friend Alicia has this beautiful girlfriend and their relationship is so amazing. Like, everything you've ever dreamed of wanting a man to do for you, a woman will. Those thoughtful things, those like special little things that somebody does for you. My husband yelled at our 1-year-old. I yelled back. He broke a $2,000 computer. What the fuck? Everyone treats me like a charity case for not wanting marriage as a 27-year-old. Did I say this? I don't know if I said this already, but like the boomers generation is the women were all trying to work full time and take care of kids and be housewives so that they could prove that they could do it, that they deserved to be in the workforce and that they could still be a housewife. And that didn't mean that you weren't a real woman if you worked or if you were career oriented. So we grew up, the kids of that generation, watching our moms do all of the work and watching dad do nothing. And we were like, I ain't down with that shit. And the boys watched their mom doing all of the work and their dad do nothing. And they were like, oh, that's what I want. So now when we're dating, we're like, no. Like, I want a man who I don't have to train. I'm not going to teach a man about feminism. I'm not going to educate a man on social justice. You come to me prepared. I ain't about to, if I lecture you, you need to know this shit already. I'm not teaching it. My dad told me I don't see him enough. He doesn't fucking try. This is just so beautiful. It's so powerful. I'm so excited for women, and it gives me hope for the future. Okay, shit. I'm so tired. What am I gonna do about this? I need to eat something. I'm using my phone right now instead of my big camera. I couldn't get it to work. I don't know what the problem is. It's just not linking to my computer. Do I need a new cord? I don't know. But this might have been really annoying for you guys to watch with the audio not being fully synced. If anybody knows how to use OBS, if anybody knows how to stream, come over to my motherfucking house. I need help. I also noticed when I filmed another video, I was like so laggy and glitchy. Okay, well, thank you so much for following along with this thought. What? Thank you so much for watching. Please go follow my 3 TikToks, because if you follow one, it'll get banned and then it'll disappear and then you'll be like, where did Jessica go? And then you won't be able to find me. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. Why won't these burps come out of me? Oh. Follow my YouTube members if you want to be a member, if you want to show some love so I can continue to make free content for everybody all day long. What else do I got? I have a website. You can go buy some merch if you want to show some love. I'm in the process of making babushka merch, my baby kitten, because people have been asking for it. Right now, all my merchandise is quite sexy and not very family friendly. So I'm working on doing some PG stuff too that won't get anybody in trouble. Won't get any shocked faces when they see you wearing it. But thank you so much for the love. My name is Jessica Wetstein, and you have been wet stained. Love you. Rawr.